So, you're thinking about marriage, huh? But are you sure your relationship is built to last? Let's be honest, getting engaged is exciting. Rings, parties, love stories. But before you say, I do, there are some serious red flags you need to watch out for. If you've ever felt a nagging sense of doubt or seen behaviors that make you wonder, should I be concerned? Then you've come to the right place. Here's the thing. Marriage is one of the biggest commitments you'll ever make. And while love is amazing, it's not enough on its own. Recognizing red flags before tying the knot is crucial to avoid heartbreak and disappointment later. By the end of this video, you'll know what to look for, so you can step into your marriage with confidence, fully aware of the foundation you're building. Let's start with a big one: lack of communication. Picture this. You're at dinner, trying to have a deep conversation with your partner about something important, like finances, the future, or even something personal, and they just give you a vague, "It's fine," or worse, they brush off the topic altogether. Sound familiar? That's exactly what happened with my friend Lisa. She and her fiancé Ben seemed perfect on the surface, but every time she tried to bring up serious topics like their future or how they'd handle challenges, Ben would shut down or avoid the conversation. Fast forward to their first year of marriage, and surprise. Those small, overlooked communication issues became big problems. Communication is not just about talking, it's about connecting. If you or your partner constantly avoid tough conversations, hoping issues will magically go away, that's a red flag. Those unspoken concerns can and will build up. And guess what? Those little cracks in your communication will eventually become full-on gaps. So, what's the solution? Simple. Schedule time to talk about the important stuff, and listen, really listen. It's not going to fix itself once you're married. Communication is a skill you need to build now, and it's one of the cornerstones of a strong marriage. Now, let's talk about unresolved past relationships. Everyone's got a history, and that's totally normal. But here's the deal. If your partner is still emotionally tied to their ex, whether they're still texting them, comparing you to them, or bringing them up in conversation, that's a red flag waving high. Take Emma and Jake, for instance. Emma was head over heels in love with Jake, but Jake? Well, he couldn't stop talking about his ex, Sarah. Every argument they had, Jake would throw in a comment like, "Sarah never did that," or, "Sarah understood me better." Ouch, right? Emma ignored it, thinking it was just a phase. But guess what? It wasn't. Jake was emotionally stuck in his past, and that baggage followed them right into their engagement. Here's the truth. Marriage should be about your future together, not someone from the past. If your partner hasn't fully moved on from an ex, it's time to have a serious conversation. You deserve someone who's 100% present in the relationship with you. Make sure both of you have truly closed the door on past relationships before you open the door to marriage. Alright, let's move on to financial incompatibility, one of the biggest reasons marriages struggle. Picture this. You're a saver. You've got a budget, you've planned for the future, and you're all about financial stability. But your partner? They're all about living for today, spending without thinking twice, and credit cards are their best friend. It's a recipe for conflict. Mike and Jen were in that exact situation. Mike was super organized with his finances. He had spreadsheets, savings plans, the works. Jen, on the other hand, believed in living in the moment. She loved spontaneous trips, shopping without guilt, and not worrying too much about savings. At first, their different views didn't seem like a big deal. But as they started planning for their future, the tension around money grew, and it started to strain their relationship. Money isn't just about how much you have, it's about how you handle it. If your partner has a completely different approach to saving and spending, and you haven't talked about it yet, that's a red flag. The solution? Sit down together and talk openly about your financial habits. Do you share similar goals? Are you both aware of each other's debts and financial priorities? Sorting this out before the wedding will save you a lot of stress later. Now, let's talk about different life goals. This one is huge. It's not just about the little things, like where you want to go on vacation. It's about the big things. Do you both want kids? How do you imagine your careers growing? Where do you want to live in the future? If your answers to these questions are wildly different, that's a red flag. Take Alex and Taylor, for example. Alex dreamed of a big family, while Taylor wasn't sure about having kids at all. They didn't really talk about it in detail until after the wedding, and by then, it was too late. They realized that their visions for the future didn't align, and that led to a lot of resentment and disappointment. It's not just about loving each other, it's about making sure you're both on the same path. If one of you is dreaming of a quiet life in the suburbs with a family, and the other wants to travel the world and focus on their career, you need to have a serious discussion. Aligning your life goals is key to a successful marriage. Lastly, let's dive into the biggest red flag of all: disrespect or controlling behavior. This is a non-negotiable. If your partner disrespects you or tries to control you, that's a major red flag. Maybe it starts small: snide comments about your appearance, trying to make decisions for you, or isolating you from your friends. But over time, this behavior escalates, and it can become toxic. Abby and John were in this situation. John seemed perfect in the beginning, but slowly, he started isolating Abby from her friends, making decisions without her, and dismissing her opinions. By the time Abby realized what was happening, she felt trapped. It wasn't love, it was control. Disrespect and control have no place in a marriage. If your partner tries to belittle you or take over your decisions, it's time to take a step back and reevaluate. Marriage should be built on mutual respect, trust, and equality. Don't settle for anything less. Address these issues now, and if they don't change, it's time to reconsider your future with that person. So there you have it. 5 major red flags to look out for before saying, "I do." Marriage is a beautiful journey, but it's important to start it with a solid foundation. Every relationship has challenges, but if you notice any of these red flags, don't ignore them. Take the time to address them now, and if needed, take a step back and reassess your relationship. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more relationship advice. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you noticed any of these red flags in your relationship? Or do you have any tips for others who are navigating their way to marriage? Let's keep the conversation going. And remember, marriage is a partnership, not a race. Take your time, trust your instincts, and make sure you're building a life with someone who's truly right for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.